Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A match has the capability of igniting itself. It has within it substances that, when put together appropriately and struck on the matchbox, ignite. And all of a sudden, there's a flame or a spark, and then a flame, and the fire ignites, and it's capable of burning anything. The match has on top of it a group of substances. These substances, when put together in the right combination, will spark when struck and will produce a flame. If you took out one of those substances, it wouldn't spark. Or if you held the matchstick with the other end down, just wood, and you kept rubbing it against the matchbox, it also wouldn't spark. So it should be evident that certain combinations of things are necessary to make a matchstick spark. And these substances created the matchstick. Man was created by God, and God used certain substances to create man: earth, air, fire, and water, and ether to give it color. And it is the combination of these elements that created man, and it is the combination of these elements that created all other creations. And then God endowed these creations with something called life. And we all witness life. We see it in each of the creations. And we also understand that this life that the creations are endowed with is not a permanent thing as far as the body is concerned. Over time, the body dissipates and the life within it dissipates, and it disappears and the life disappears. The elements within us create us in between a space of the 15 worlds. There are 7 worlds above and 7 worlds below. And we start in the middle. And the question is, do we go up or do we go down? And what is it about ourselves that takes us up or down? In the same way that a matchstick creates a spark, the religions can create sparks. The religions have a certain creativity within them. But in order to light the fire that does away with Maya, to light the fire that does away with religion, to light the fire that brings us to wisdom and beyond the understanding that is caught within the religions, we must know all of the religions. We can't just know one of the religions, and we can't just believe in the sanctity and the fact that only one religion exists and all others are of no substance. We have to cross over the barriers that separate us from the religions. But we also have to cross over the thresholds that each religion takes us to. For instance, the first step is the religion of creation. We have to go beyond creation, or we don't get the full spectrum of who man is and what man is capable of. The second section is the section of fire, the section of the stomach, the section that consumes everything. And we have to go beyond that, or else we only understand that section of fire and that section of creation. Then there's the section of the chest, and finally, the section of the head. All the sections have to be gone through, and all the sections have to be combined. And when that happens, then we become a true representative of God, because we are in a place of unity where we can represent God to everyone, as opposed to representing God to just a defined section of humanity. And this is what leads to man being capable of the highest of beings, and man also being capable of being the most evil of beings. When man enters into that state of unity, where he sees all other religions as brothers, where he sees all other men and women as brothers and sisters, when he sees all of humanity as part of one whole, then he is the representative of God. But when he sees separations and only sees separations, then he is capable of doing vile things in order to maintain separation, in order to maintain differences, in order to proclaim the superiority of one section over the others. It's in this arrogance of proclamation of superiority that the difficulties come into existence, and the difficulties come to mankind. And this is when mankind becomes a murderer and somebody who starts wars. It's only after we progress to the point where we go beyond individual religions, where we go beyond an individual separate way, that we are able to find that divine spark within us that will dissipate Maya and dissipate illusion. So you see, until we see unity, we see illusion. Until we see equality, we see illusion. Until we have respect for everyone, we see illusion. Until we have faith that everyone is God's child and capable of reaching the highest levels, we see illusion. Judgment is left to Allah alone. But if we judge our brothers and sisters, we see illusion. We enter into places where we are forbidden to go. Man is constantly wandering. You know, there's an expression: the grass is always greener a little further away. And a cow, when it's grazing, will see the grass, and then it will look up and see the grass over a little further, and it looks greener. And it looks up again, and sees the grass a little further and it's greener. And it ends up going from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, without experiencing grass, only experiencing the mental image of what he thinks is better. Man is like that, and man wanders. And within man are the 18,000 universes. And each one of these attracts man. But each one of these is not God. Each one of these is part of creation. So if man is chasing creation, man can do the entire circuit of all the 18,000 universes. And by the time he gets to the end of the circuit, his life is over. And what has he accomplished, as opposed to looking at more and more aspects of creation, when in fact, we're not here to look at aspects of creation. We're here to find the truth of man. We're here to find the truth of existence. We're here to find the divine essence. And when the divine essence is found, it's greater than anything that the mind can experience. It's greater than anything that the mind is capable of understanding. But unless the mind lets go and allows us to move towards the divine essence, we'll never know it. Because as long as we stay within the reach of the mind, we will limit what we're capable of knowing. It's like there was a hole in the ground, and a bunch of animals were standing around the hole, and they were trying to figure out how deep it is. And so the rat walks up to the hole and sticks its tail in the hole, and he says, "The hole is as deep as my tail." And then a cat walks up, sticks its tail in the hole, and says, "The hole is as deep as my tail." And then a tiger comes up and sticks its tail in the hole and says, "The hole is as deep as my tail," and so on. Everybody measures according to their ability to measure. But man has to realize that his ability to measure is false. His ability to understand is false. His ability to know is false. His ability to experience is not real until he enters the divine essence. And what does man have to do in order to enter the divine essence? He has to enter the state of the unity of existence. He has to enter the state of no separations. He has to enter the state of inclusivity, where he includes everyone and everything. He has to enter the state where he has regard for every life, where he doesn't have disdain for life, where he treats all life with respect and with admiration and with the understanding that the possibility of that life coming to know the divine essence exists. So not only do we have to have the faith, the certitude, and the determination that we will come to know the divine essence, we have to have the faith, the certitude, and the determination that everyone has the capability of coming to know the divine essence. Everything that we do is recorded within us. Everything that we say is recorded within us. And we individually have to be cognizant of everything we say and we do. If we are not cognizant of what we say and we do, if we are not self-analytical, if we don't analyze ourselves, then we continue to do the same things that we've been doing forever without any thought. So we have to begin to give thought to our actions. And we have to begin to determine if what we're doing is good or what we're doing is bad. And then we have to create a filter. We have to create a filter in ourselves where we no longer do what's inappropriate and we do what's good. And this is up to us. Now, it's very easy for man to say, I'm not capable. Nobody's capable. This isn't for ordinary men. This is just for the few unusual ones. There's a book that was written by a man called Attar. It's called The Conference of the Birds. And in this book, a bird, the birds meet and decide they need a king, and the king should take them to the truth. And the hoopoe, which is a bird that was in the court of King Solomon, comes forward, and he is by lot elected as their leader. And he begins to explain to them the journey that they're on. And a large part of the book is various birds complaining that they aren't ready for this journey, that they aren't strong enough for this journey, that this journey is only meant for superior birds, not for birds like them. And then the hoopoe argues with each of them and tells them and explains to them that they are worthy, and what's keeping them back is their own idea of themselves and their own ideas of others and their inability to see unity. And so it's like that with us. We have to overcome our own doubt as to who we are. We have to overcome the doubt of who all of our brothers and sisters are. We have to stop doubting. We have to start loving. And there is a difference between doubt and love. Doubt leads to enmity. Doubt leads to separation. Doubt leads to pushing people away and saying, you are less than worthy. This doubt comes from Satan, and we can't allow ourselves to be part of this doubt. The divine essence doesn't come to us if we are in a state of doubt. The divine essence doesn't pervade us in a state of doubt. But if we can let go of all of our needs to be separate and to be different, then divinity will open up in us, and wisdom will open up in us, and divine wisdom will open up in us. Divine wisdom is within us, just waiting to come into the presence of now within us. And we have to do what needs to be done to allow that presence to occur. And what we have to do to allow that presence to occur is to take on the qualities that are Allah, that see the unity amongst all people. Allah maintains, sustains, protects humanity, maintains, sustains, and protects all of his creation. He has no favorites. He looks at each one and allows them to do their act on this stage. So you have all of humanity doing their act on this stage, trying to find favor with God, trying to curry favor with God, and God keeps all of this going because if he would leave this for an instant, if he wouldn't maintain and sustain it for an instant, it would all disappear. But he does continuously maintain and sustain it. And he doesn't judge. He allows man to go on in his way, to perform his act, always waiting for man to turn his act towards God, waiting for him to turn his act away from illusion, away from Maya, away from separation and power, towards submission to truth and submission to reality. He continuously waits for this to happen. And it's only when man finally leaves this earth that God will judge. But before that, man has every opportunity to move towards truth and to move towards reality. So we need to know that God is giving us this opportunity. We need to know that God is waiting for us to find him. God is waiting for us to find the divine essence. He's waiting for us to go in that direction. And that direction means towards God. When we enter into the realm of divine wisdom, all the doors begin to open. And as these doors begin to open, the angels begin to speak to us. They become common to us. And the angels, when they see us at that state, immediately come forward to us and ask us if there is any help that we need, if there is anything that they can do for us, because the angels have tremendous power. And Bawa tells us that at this stage, don't turn towards the angels. Don't accept their help. Because if you accept their help, then you can't go any further than that. You have to tell them politely that I'm not here to find you. I'm here to find God. And you have to continue to move forward. And various angels will come to you. Michael will come to you. Israfel will come to you. Gabriel will come to you. And finally, Israel will come to you. And Israel, who's the angel of death, will tell you, you've made it this way. You've come so far. You've passed all the tests of the earth. You've understood hunger and aging and old age. You've understood all of the difficulties of being human. And now you've entered into divine wisdom. There must be those who harmed you on your way on this path. Tell me who they are, and I will take care of them for you. And you have to answer him at that time and say, no one's harmed me. They've only harmed themselves. So we don't need interference of any sort. We don't need help of any sort. We only need to come to know our Lord. Our Lord is the one who is judging us, and we want to come before him without intermediaries and without lawyers. We want to come before him ourselves, so to tell him our story ourselves. And when that happens, when you finally make that statement, when you finally take that position, then the divine luminous wisdom, the effulgence of that great effulgence meets with your divine wisdom, and it covers everything from the beginning of the creation and onward. And this effulgence is so powerful that the entire world and all of the 18,000 universes look like a tiny little speck. They are without importance. They are without substance. They are without any kind of reality, compared to this effulgence that is coming from Allah, this overwhelming positive effulgence that is greater than anything and everything in all of the universes. And this is when you begin to see your life and everything that has happened to you, and you begin to understand the nature of true wisdom, the nature of your reality, the nature of who man truly is, the nature of what Allah created and what man is capable of being. And it's only at this stage that you begin to understand the station of man, God, God, man. Man is God's secret, and God is man's secret. And man is capable of entering into that godly state. But to do this, we have to do the appropriate work in this world. And the reward for doing the appropriate work in this world is to enter into that divine effulgence, to enter into that divine state that overwhelms everything and is beyond our imagination. And we have to maintain this positive attitude that this will happen. If we listen to the way our Sheikh speaks to us, he always speaks to everybody in the most polite way. Children, gems of my eyes, children who were born with me, my own children. He always speaks to us, giving us the benefit of being of the highest elevation of God's creation, as if we were truly God's representatives on earth. He does this out of his own humility and out of his own sense of smallness. He doesn't lord over us. He brings us in equally, the way we should be bringing in everybody equally, the way we should be bringing in the whole world equally. When we can do this, there is an internal change inside of us that sparks the divine essence, because now, when we are in unity with all beings, when we see all beings as one, when there are no separations and there are no differences within us, then there are no separations and differences between ourselves and God. And it's only when that state is reached that we reach truth, that we reach divinity, that we reach the understanding of the true nature of existence. And that's when the doors open. That's when we are welcomed into the divine realm, when we are welcomed and greeted into that space. And we have to establish within ourselves a very powerful belief system that this is so. We can't allow doubt to penetrate our being, because if doubt penetrates our being, it immediately throws us off the path. It immediately throws us off the truth. It immediately takes us out of the straight path and puts us on trajectories that go in ways that we should not be going. So we have to stay consistent in our belief system. We have to stay consistent in our ability to love. We have to stay consistent in our ability to be kind and to be just, in our ability to give credit to everyone for their good deeds, to be able to see others as Allah's creations and as Allah's representatives on earth. When we can do this, then we can become what we see. But we're not going to become what we're meant to be until we see what we're meant to be in others. There's a reciprocal nature to things here. As long as you exclude others, you become excluded. When you include others, you become included. And this is a very, very important lesson to learn. You can't push others away in order to make a path for yourselves. You can't push others away so there's room for you. It can't be done this way. It's only done by taking everyone along with you. It's only done by including everyone with you. It's only done without separation and without differences, with superior faith, superior certitude, superior determination. We must transcend all of the religions inclusively. We must include all of them and then transcend to the place where there is the universal religion, where they're all included. And in the same way, we have to transcend our own self and transcend all of our differences with everyone else in the world. We have to become inclusive with everyone else in the world. And it's only when we understand that inclusivity that we begin to see humanity in the way God sees humanity. And if you want to become what God sees, you have to be able to see how God sees. Now, these eyes see form, and God is not form. And we are also beyond form. Our form exists for a while, but then our form disappears. So we have to understand that we have to detach from everything that these eyes see, because these eyes don't see reality. They see creation. Creation is not reality. Creation is a manifestation of Allah's power, but it is not Allah's power. Allah's power is unseen. Allah's power is hidden within the manifestation. The manifestation is an example of truth, an example of Allah, but it is not Allah. Allah is underneath, supporting all of this. Allah is hidden, maintaining all of this, sustaining all of this. And these emanations that Allah gives off appear as food to the creation, appear as sustenance to the creation. They give the creation that life force during its time of life. So we need to come to the point where we understand our place in creation and our path towards the truth. The straight path is not something we just talk about. It has to be something that we follow. And to follow it means to go towards God in the way that God expects us to go towards him. And that expectation is that we see all of humanity as one. We see all of creation as one. We see our God as one. And we see ourselves as part of that one. And when that occurs, reality will open up for us. And we will be able to see the true effulgence that is existence, and we will become part of that effulgence that is existence. May that be what is intended for each of us. May that be our path. May that be our truth. May that be our way. And may that be where we go and find our God and find reality and find the truth. And that will become our true home. Ameen, Ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.